All right, guys, we have Jinsakuu on the phone right now. So, Jin, how are you? How have you been, man? I imagine a lot of people have been trying to get in contact with you to pick your
Yeah.
brain.
I'm gonna be honest, bro. If you want to get in contact with me, man, I I'm such a hard person, like to like, cause I got that's the biggest problem with me is like my Twitter DMs. They're like so flooded with random stuff that a lot of people like DM me to like get in contact, and it's probably the worst way too. You just gotta like add me on the timeline. I'll probably see it. But that's honestly, that's honestly like the best. Like, I'm
You
bad at that. I'm getting better, but I'm real bad at that, man.
said, "Hey, don't slide in my DMs.
But,
Fucking add,
but
add me
I'm
on the
good though. I'm
timeline."
good. How you doing?
Man, I'm well. See, you set the internet on fire on Christmas with
Yeah.
these hot takes about this movie potentially coming out. So, what
Yeah.
do you
Yeah.
know anything about the storyline per se of the movie? Like any like, hey,
So Um, it's still pretty early, but let me I'll just break it down, right? So like this is actually something that me and a few others we was kind of like sitting on this news for like weeks now because like we was like, I this is something we're hearing. It's a little early, but like I kind of wanted to wait a little longer, like maybe until next year, until I got like a little more information before I decided to say something on it, right? Like, because I didn't want it to be like a reboot part two situation, right? Where like the last story I kind of broke early, and then we went 6 7 years of like, Jen, when is the reboot happening? Is it happening? This and that. What's going on? What's going on? And it's like, listen, man, like it's one of the things, right? If you're gonna scoop something, you just got to deal with the consequences of like, what comes after that. But I was like, all right, I'm gonna be smart about this. But Dan, I talked to Dan. We kind of had a mutual understanding on the situation, so like we were kind of just like, all right, fuck it. But like, it's more about, I guess, the timing, right? Is
yeah,
a bit early.
Christmas night. I'm
Yeah,
like,
it wasn't. That was not the plan at all. But we know, like, the main thing we're hearing right now is that they're moving fast, right? And my thing is, I don't want to just do another like, okay, here's a Power Ranger movie in the works type of reporting situation. Like, I want to know the business aspect of it, right?
yeah,
Like, I want to know like what's going on, like why now, right? Like, what's different from previous situations. So I've been talking to people, and what I'm gathering is Paramount is hungry for a new IP, right? Like they're dealing with Sonic
yo,
on his
Sonic is
fourth
doing
movie.
great.
You know, yeah, you got Sonic on coming on his fourth movie. I don't know how much more movies they'll make, but you kind of got Mission Impossible. They're doing their thing. They're close to wrapping up. I'm assuming you got Transformers on like movie 10. I can't keep track at this point. So they're kind of like in a situation like, okay, we want a new IP. We want Power Rangers, right? Like it's in the realm of Ninja Turtles, Sonic, like Transformers, let's do it. And Hasbro's in a situation, right, where it's just not doing well over there. They spent 500 mil on this property and made zero money off of it, right? Like they're losing money. They're trying to do Dino Fury, Cosmic Fury is not working,
yeah.
etc. The reboot never happened. So like they're kind of like, listen, I know you want Power Rangers, right? And I'll be happy to give it to you, but I'm kind of financially fucked and I'm gonna need a lot of money off of this. So like that's why they're kind of like coming together on some, okay, because they got a good partnership. Don't get me wrong, Hasbro and Paramount, they worked together for years, and like Hasbro is definitely happy to give it to them, but they need to make some type of money off Power Rangers
Well,
before they even thinking about selling it for the right price.
Hasbro
So
is
they're
down. Go ahead, go ahead. I'm not gonna interrupt you, but Hasbro's down bad.
they,
They're
oh
also in
yeah,
a pending
100%.
lawsuit with their investors for misleading
Yeah.
them that not too many
Oh
people
yeah.
are talking about.
Oh
So
yeah, shit. Believe it or not, too. Like when they bought I think it was like 2018, 2017. When they bought Power Rangers, they bought it for 500 mil. You want to know how much they made? Like within the span of 7 8 years,
how much?
they haven't even cracked 100 mil yet. It's bad. Yeah, it's bad. Like if you want to put in what they've spent versus return, yeah, nah. There and then even a Power Ranger auction didn't make as much as they'd hope. So it's kind of in a situation where like they don't want Power Rangers, like they would gladly give it away, but they have to oversell it because of the fact that they need to make money. But Paramount is willing to work with Hasbro, develop this movie, and hopefully get a quick cash grab. That way they could sell it for the right price. And that's really the whole purpose of this movie. Now, I know there's other reports on like future animation shows, this and that. I'm kind of not getting into all of that only because you can't really you can't really put that on anything right now only because of this movie's purpose, right?
Okay.
Like this movie is only they're literally like they're not making this movie because Hasbro suddenly found a joy for Power Rangers and they want to. No, none of that is even a thing. Like they're literally making this movie and forcing it to go to theaters because they need like a quick 200 mil. Like that's really what it is. Like at best, this movie probably would profit 200 mil. I'm not expecting like a 500 mil, 600 mil
Well,
profit off of it, but
who
they need something.
did they lock
So
down a director or people in the cast?
So no, so that's exactly the next part. They're so early on this that they're developing the script at the moment and they're actively searching for a director right now. But I'm thinking this will be a more of a in-house thing. So like you can expect the short list of directors they're looking at. But probably Transformers or whoever else worked on what. I'm thinking I'm throwing around names like, Brian Knight. I've been talking to a couple people over at Hasbro. I'm like, listen, you know, give me something. But I'm not getting much at the moment. But they are kind of like they hinted at they're looking at in-house talent and shit like that. So I'm just looking at Ninja Turtles and Transformers and what else they worked on and trying to put pieces together on who they can possibly work with. But regardless, though, I'm not expecting anything right now. I'm thinking I'm hearing April question mark. Around CinemaCon we may or may not get a little something. But yeah, this is just like a new thing. And I don't know what to make of it yet either because like it's one of those things where it's like a month ago was a complete different story than this month, right? It's just something that they're like something happened where they're like, okay, boom, 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 quick 180, and it's so fast. So it's just it is what it is. I didn't want to release the news yet. I kind of personally wanted to wait, but I know a lot of people on the inside that's starting to get more and more information, and they're not waiting. So it is what it
Oh,
is.
okay. So
Yeah. So
just to
there's
be
more stuff is going to come out within the next month or so too. Like
to be
it's
clear, you have
yeah.
sources inside Hasbro.
More. I don't want to. I don't want to say that, right? I'm more on the other
Well,
side.
you said you talked to people
I'm
at
more on the
Hasbro.
Paramount side than Hasbro side,
Okay.
to be honest. I have friends who have sources at Hasbro, but that's more here or they. This is all really, if anything, all of this is more beneficial in marketing for Paramount, if anything. They want the IP, and this is what they got to do to get it. This is what they're going to do. So that's just what it is. Anything after this movie is unpromised and then honestly hinders on the success of it. And that also means Paramount buying the brand. If this movie don't do well, I'm not expecting Hasbro to sell it off. Like they might just shelve it. So this is really a business strategy to make money and get it off. And that's just really what it is. And this is just Hasbro wiping their hands with it. And I'm hearing they want little involvement as possible. They kind of just
Yeah,
want
I did see like
Paramount to handle everything. And same with toys. I don't know if you noticed too. Like they've been
Playmates.
selling off
Yep.
toy rights. Yeah, they're just slowly selling off. And it's not just Power Rangers. Like they're doing it with their other brands too. They just have so much going on. They're just trying to like limit the amount they control pretty much. And yeah, man, it's fresh. Like I'm gonna keep updating y'all as shit go on.
Okay.
But as of right now, the idea of this movie existing is just Paramount wants it and Hasbro wants to make money, and they can't sell it to them unless they make some type of profit. So
Okay,
that's why
so
this movie exists, and that's why it's going to theaters.
all
That's
right,
literally
guys.
it.
Let me just try to paraphrase it real quick. I wanted to let you cook as
Yeah,
much. I didn't want to interrupt you. I'm talking to Jinsakuu, and please don't hit the
for sure, for
live.
sure.
The link, everybody, is just for him. So Hasbro is in a bind. They looking at Paramount as a way to fix they bind because rent's due, toy sales is bad, they're not making any profit, and the movie could be a quick path to profitability, perhaps, or just make some of their money back.
100%.
Okay, all right. Well, is there anything else, Jinsaku, you want to add?
I mean, yeah, like I was saying, it's just early. But like I said, I know a lot of people has been hearing things with animation and other stuff. I think that's just more on. It's been ideas thrown around for sure, but all of that is Paramount, and all of that is if Paramount buys the brand. Like that's all that really is. And one thing I was told was the biggest factor for this is the 2017 movie is something that's been brought up a lot, and they're really trying to avoid what they did with that movie, as in like the 2017 movie was kind of set up for failure, where like they're trying to be cautious, they're trying to be careful on when and how they release this movie. They don't. I'm gonna be honest with you. They don't have enough confidence in Power Rangers where they saying, "Oh fuck it, I'll drop it with Superman." We got no. They don't. They don't have.
They'll
I don't
look
even
good
know.
eating alive,
I don't
dropping
know
it
what
with
type of channel you
Superman.
got. I don't know if it's like a family friendly thing going
No,
on. My fault
talk your
about
shit. Talk your shit.
that. But but now yeah, they're just more like, listen, we want to avoid these movies, right? 2026 is a big year. My sources, it's not anything confirmed, but my sources kind of like suggested like, oh yeah, a late 2026, to avoid all the heavy hitters. Me personally, I'm thinking like if you're going to be smart about this, I'm thinking January 2027. I'm thinking like
Ooh,
you completely
here's
go
the
to like,
January movies suck.
huh?
I said movies that come out in January historically suck all the time.
Okay, which is good for Power Rangers. We got to think about what we working with now. Now, like I hear you in terms of reputation. It's like, but who's Power Rangers competition in January? You'll probably get like a low budget horror movie. You'll probably get like a Valentine's movie coming around February. You know what I mean? Like I think where we're at, if your sole purpose for this is not because you want to make a Power Rangers movie, but because you want to make the money back that you lost throughout the years, your number one goal is making money. I don't think releasing this next to anything like big or popular, anything that can take away from your profit is going to work. I think you have to play it safe. You have to either do January, February. I wouldn't even say like March or April because that's playing too close to like other films. And I know Sonic 4 is supposed to come out around what, like April, like
Oh yeah,
spring,
man.
spring,
Look,
summer 2024. You don't even
Sonic
want to be close to that. You don't want to be in
Sonic
competition with yourself.
Sonic dropped against Lion King and destroyed it. They had no fear.
Yes.
So
Yes, 100%. But if I'm gonna be honest with you, right, play devil's advocate, um, I think personally, any movie coming out next to Mufasa would have destroyed it. That movie was fighting an uphill battle from the start. I think this was a huge L on Disney's end, and I know Sonic fans are like, "Oh my god, like Sonic is just." I'm like, listen,
look,
Transformers One would have destroyed Mufasa. Like, let's be honest.
now here's the thing,
Let's
man.
be honest.
And we got a little echo coming from your back end. You might want to
Oh
mute the
wait, my fault,
stream.
my fault. Let me fix that.
Um, here's the thing: when it comes to Transformers One, is a phenomenal story. It's literally the Megatron origin story, which it sneakily shows you. When it comes to Sonic, Sonic is so good. Even people who are not into the game, never played the game, is like, yo, it was a great movie. All I'm hearing is, yeah, my kid could easily catch on into the humor. Jim Carrey was great, phenomenal time. go see it.
Yeah, for sure.
So all these other movies, like the fact that they dropped the same day as Lion King and just destroyed it, and I'm to the point like, hey, I gotta get to the movies to see it. Is a big deal. But I do got some questions from the fans, and I'll let you go. Shout out to my
Oh
man,
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Musty, Mr. Resilient. Glad to see you streaming. Thank you, brother, for
That's
the
a
10.
crazy name, dog.
My man it's Musty. It's a long name. It's Musty, a guy we can trusty. He says, "Are they going to throw in the cameo from the guy who used to be the Red Ranger, as in Austin St. John? Will there be any cameos from previous Power Rangers, perhaps?"
So this is the thing, right? And I literally just got done talking about this. I hosted a Twitter space earlier. The thing is, right? I know a lot of people are asking, like, "Oh, is it a reboot or is it a continuation? Like, is it Mighty Morphin? Whatever, whatever." I personally, first of all, Austin St. John, no. Just to answer that question, right? No. If anyone's coming back, it is not him, right? But I think they're just going to just make a Power Rangers movie. I think that's like the best way to put it. Like you're just gonna get like a modern Power Rangers movie, man. It's not gonna have much to it. I think it's gonna be like what it is. Like I don't think they're necessarily looking at any seasons to adapt. Like oh, we have to do Mighty Morphin or like we have to do Wild Force, whatever. I think you will get like some things from it, right? Like you'll get the color scheme for sure, right? That's like an iconic staple for Power Rangers. You got to get that red, blue, black, pink, yellow color scheme, right? You could
Yes.
get kids in high school, right? Like I don't think you're, but I think that's probably like as far as they'll go in terms of Mighty Morphin. I don't think like
But
no,
I
like look
think
at the
that's probably like
2017
as
movie,
far
right?
as
It was
they'll
supposed to be an
go.
adaptation of Mighty Morphin, but yet it wasn't, right? Like yeah, you got the colors, but the suits look nothing like Mighty Morphin. The
Right.
Zords look nothing like Mighty Morphin. The Megazords surely look nothing like okay, you can claim as Mighty Morphin, but at the end of the day, if you're just doing a big budget project and you're gonna make it however you want to make it, it's not Mighty Morphin. Alpha didn't even look like Alpha, neither did Zordon. So it's like, what are we doing? So I think right now they're just focused on okay, we're doing Power Rangers. We understand what Power Rangers is, and then it doesn't have to be Mighty Morphin and be Power Rangers, but we can take some things from Mighty Morphin, maybe take some things from another season. But at the end of the day, Power Rangers is probably one of the most basic, easiest storylines to fucking make. You just got kids becoming superheroes, and you go from there. Just do a good story, good script, boom, you're good. So I
Okay.
think their main focus is just we're making a Power Rangers movie. We're not necessarily doing a reboot, but we're also not necessarily doing the show. We're just going to do our own thing and go from there. And as Power Rangers is really like a niche fan base, right? So they don't have really much pressure to, you know, give you much fan service. At the end of the day, like I think Sonic and like Transformers, like those things are a little bit different because they had like more success and they grew more fans. So the demand to do more things is a little different. Why they more focus on that. But I think Power Rangers is just kind of like let's keep it a buck. If the movie's good, it's good. Like whether they
Exactly.
fucked it up or not. Like if it's good, who gives a shit what 100 fans got to say on this side? Because like we will easily be overshadowed by the general public. Like they're not gonna like live and die by the fandom, right? They're just gonna go ahead, make a Power Rangers movie, profit, gain whatever fan base they can gain, and go from there. Which
Uh,
is, and at the end of the day, and Hasbro wants to do nothing more but to make. I promise you, bro, if this movie makes at least 200 mil profit, which is not a big number, but it's enough just to get Hasbro to wipe their hands with it and say it's all yours. You got it. I made my money. If Hasbro at the end of the day can say, oh, throughout 6 years, I've only lost maybe 50 million. I've only lost 70 million. They're okay with that because right now they lost 400. So if they can do anything to get any type of money, they can care less, bro. They want money and they want to wipe their hands with it. So
okay.
it's really just that.
Let me ask you
I
some
think,
questions.
yeah.
Any potential budget leaks? We know the 2017 one had about $100 million budget. What any budget talks for this reboot?
Yeah, I'm not a fan, but I'm definitely hearing big numbers. They're telling me they're trying to put up over 150 mil for this.
What?
I'm more on. I think that's a bad idea.
That's a horrible idea.
Um, I think it's a bad idea. I think, especially with Power Rangers, you don't need to do that. Like, I think you can get away. I don't even think the 2017 movie needed 150. You could have got away with 100. You honestly could have got away with. I think everyone wants to be VFX heavy, right? I get that. Everyone wants these futuristic suits. Everyone wants these big Megazord battles. Everyone want. I'm like, listen, bro. The if you look at, not saying you need to do this, because obviously if you're a movie, you're taking it more serious. You're going above and beyond. But just a general like idea. Let's say CW shows, right?
Yeah.
Like the amount they spend, right? It's crazy. Like when you see the budget and you see like what, I'm granted some shit look crazy, I know. But for like Superman and Lois, for what the budget was, it's not bad, right? Now let's say you throw another like 50, 60 million on that budget, who knows? But Power Rangers, man, like just make some suits. Like
Okay. Is
make
it
some good suits.
so we're
What's up?
talking live action, not animated for the movie?
No, yeah, yeah. The movie is live action for sure.
Okay.
The movie is live action. And there's no plans for like a franchise or anything like that. This is solely just one movie they just thought of within the past couple months that they want to do, and they just want to make money off of it. But I'm thinking, if your goal is to make money, like, why produce so much? Like, why even like? I guess Paramount got a bag, sure, but it's like you don't have to. And then you got to look
Well,
at the budget and market. You're gonna market the movie somehow. You got a budget for that. You got to build sets. Like,
yeah.
it's like a lot you can look into, and it's like,
What makes me
but I
nervous?
mean, January. Hey, give it, give
what
it your best shot, right? I don't know. Um, that's the thing, though. One thing I will give them credit for is what I'm hearing is they definitely want to go smart this time around in terms of how they announce it, right? Where like the reboot and whistle situation was terrible. They randomly dropped an article saying, "Yeah, we're making a reboot universe," and 6 years later, nothing happened. I think this time around is what I'm hearing. They want to wait until they have an actual director. They want to wait till they have an actual film date, and they want to wait till they have an actual release date and have all that ready for their announcement. They're not going to announce this until it's ready, is what I'm hearing.
okay.
So
All right.
that's a positive.
Well,
But yeah, I mean it's pretty early though, man. Like
what makes me
we'll definitely
nervous
have to.
is the
Yeah.
$150 million budget. Because
Yes,
what I'm thinking, like,
I'm not a fan.
if you just saw Red One with The Rock and what's the other guy? Human Torch Ninja. $250 million budget, and that shit was on Prime within like a couple months. So I think it's going down as one of the biggest flops in history. So when I'm like,
Yeah.
150 on Power Rangers is a lot of money, but if you could just do it as a tax write off and get it secure in IP, I I guess it could be a
I will
win win.
give Power Rangers a bit credit though, where I think they are a bigger. I think the name itself, Power Rangers, is a bigger. Um, it's a bigger deal than it's been seemed like, right? Like I think Power Rangers itself kind of just set itself up for failure more times than I want to count. But I do think if you play your cards right, you could get people excited for it. It's just how you go about it. I think, I guess if you really want to, you can just go the Sonic route. If you want to play it safe, just do a family friendly Power Rangers movie with like bright colors and a fun story. Bank on kids seeing it. Like I think the 2017 movie kind of like lost the kid audience, and that was kind of his biggest downfall. But I'm thinking this will be a more family oriented, like a more kids movie for sure, and they're
Okay.
going to bank on kids helping it win the money it needs to win. Because adults will see it. We know that.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah,
adults
yeah.
don't. Kids movies don't stop adults from seeing anything. but adults movies stop kids from seeing it. So you look at it that way, you can get kids and your adults, and then all the Ranger fans are going to complain and cry about it all year, but they'll still show up.
Well,
So
whoever they
that's the least of their worries.
Jason Lee Scott and Tommy Oliver, whoever they cast as those characters, and Kimberly, will be
Assuming they're doing Mighty Morphin.
they have to. It's the most recognizable brand. I don't see how they do it without doing Mighty Morphin.
So I was thinking that too, right? I was like, they can do Mighty Morphin, 100%, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I thought of that can maybe help that narrative is a lot of people don't realize that 2017 movie was like at least what, almost 10 years ago now at this point, right? Like the end was, so he was never doing Mighty Morphin. He was going to do his own thing. But when they announced it, it was so close to the 2017 movie, it gave him a reason not to do Mighty Morphin again. But given now that it's been almost 10 years, I think they can very well do Mighty Morphin again. Could be a thing, but I'm also hearing they just want to make a Power Rangers movie. And like I was saying, the 2017 movie is Mighty Morphin, but is it really? I
No.
think if you're going to put a big budget on it, it's kind of hard to do Mighty Morphin. Because we know if you're throwing a budget on the suits won't look like the show. The Zords probably won't look like the show. At the end of the day, you can say they're dinosaurs. At the end of the day, you can name the characters Zach, Tommy, Jason. But if it looks nothing like Mighty Morphin, I think it wouldn't matter to the general public that is Mighty Morphin, if that makes sense. I don't think anyone has a real attachment to Jason, Tommy, and Zach as new people than they do the actual people. No one really has a attachment to the name Mighty Morphin. If the suits look nothing like it, it would do nothing for it. Like they have attachment to how the suits look. The diamonds on the chest. The helmets. They have attachment to that iconic look. I think if you just name it Mighty Morphin or just say this is Mighty Morphin and everything looks different, you might as well just do your own thing. Like, what's
Okay.
the point? I just, I don't know. I just think it's not strong enough to pull off. Like, I get it, Mighty Morphin in terms of Power Rangers. Yeah, Mighty Morphin is probably the most profitable. Look at Boom Comics; they're doing great, you know. But that's Mighty Morphin through and through. You look at a big budget movie now, people will get excited. Okay, I recognize this, but at the end of the day, if you're not fully going full on Mighty Morphin, then just what's the point? You really don't have to.
All
I
right.
think freedom is the best way to go about this. You're not tied to anything. You're not tied to any storyline. You just make a good movie. Do a generic superhero movie, make it good, and then launch your franchise, man. I'd say that's your best bet.
Okay. Last
You
question.
think? Yeah.
Do I think what? Or
No,
is,
I was gonna say like I was saying if they think too much into it, or I think that's kind of one of the things that fucked their previous reboot over. I just think they had a lot going on and they were trying to think too deep into it on how they want to make it work. I think simplicity is the best way to go, and you just gotta just make something, man. Make something fresh. Don't think too deep into it. Don't think about what's canon, what I need to add for fan service, or what I don't want to step on this season toes or that season toes. Like, just make a movie. I think once you start thinking of Mighty Morphin and everything else, it gets too complicated.
okay. So Jinsakuu just wants a Mighty Morphin movie for movie sakes, which is fine. Uh,
Yeah,
last
just what's
question.
a superhero movie, man? That's all you need. But yeah, what's up?
What do you think about the naysayers? Because anytime I mention your name, there are people who say, "Oh my God, Jinsaku was right. It's a broken clock. He's right. Two times a day or something." Like, there's one person in particular. I'm not going to say their
Yeah,
name, but they do not like when I'm like, "Oh, when Jinsaku said ABC," they like, "Oh, fuck Jinsaku." I'm like, "Well, look, man, you got any better information to refute it?" They don't, but they don't think you're credible. What do you say to the naysayers out
nah,
there?
I full on embrace that. I get it. Like, part of it's my fault because I kind of I don't know how long you've known me or like how long you kept up with what I've been doing, but like I kind of leaned into the villain role a bit. Like I kind of embraced it so much. Like okay, so like I started off the gate, right? I do trolling sometimes, right? I like to troll people. It's funny. there's times I just say whatever, right? Like my original intent when it came to scoops was I was just someone who got the information. I had friends and I said, fuck it, I'm just gonna talk about it, right? But it wasn't nothing like I really wanted to take serious or do as like I never considered myself a scooper at one point, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
I had information on the show and I talked about it from time to time, but really like I will also tweet a lot of like obvious troll posts, of course. I've never like outright wanted to like deceive anyone, but it was always like a laughing emojis or something stupid, like even though we're revolving the show. But like I don't know, like I troll a lot and I'm when I'm serious, I'm serious, but I do have a lot of trolling I've done and I played into the villain role quite a few times and I get is not a lot of people's cup of tea. Like I understand that. I think more now I'm just like I'm getting like actual like consistent with it. So now people kind of look at me as like a scooper. But like at first, like I was never like considering myself a scooper. I was just, a regular nigga on Twitter just doing my thing, right? I was just like, like literally like if you knew me from like let's say 2020, 2021, bro, you can literally go on my page, right? It would be like, oh, by the way, I heard David Yost is coming back from Cosmic Fury, right? That would be a big scoop I make. And if you look right under it, I'm posting some wild shit, right? That has nothing to do with anything. You can go on my page. You might see some girl twerking, right? And then you might look under it, there's a Power Ranger scoop, and then you keep scrolling, and I'm over here talking about Sydney Sweeney, right? It's like it's some random shit I be doing, and then
What's
like
your
on
thoughts on
top of
Sydney
that,
Sweeney, by the way?
I think she's a wonderful actor. I think she has good assets that she brings to the table. Um, but for real though, I think I'm being more consistent now. A lot of people are definitely taking me serious,
Because
so
you're not
I've kind of
trolling no
toned
more.
down
This is not
the
you
bullshit.
trolling
Yeah,
us.
but it's just more like I know I rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, and I embrace it. Like I would double down on it too. Like I would be like someone would be like, "Yo, Jen, I just think you're unreliable or whatever," and I'd be like, "Okay,
Where the
hit me
white
up on my
women
name,"
at?
and it's just whatever. I've never debunked anything. Like I've never like told anyone they're wrong. Like I've just straight up was like, I'm that's cool. You feel that way. I just don't care. Like I'm not a scooper. But now that I'm actually like, and don't get me wrong, if you look at my track record, my track record, hey, I'm not never like to toot my own horn. I always be humble about things, but you can say I'm right really more times than I'm wrong. And if anything, my biggest L would be the reboot, just off the fact that it never came out, so we
This
just
is
would never
true.
know if I was right or not. Right? Like I've I've leaked everything about Cosmic Fury. Everything I've said came true. For the longest I've been telling people, yo, 10 episodes. For the longest I've been telling people, Ollie's evil throughout the show. He got a new suit. Like I've been doing all this, right? I've been telling people about Once and Always before they knew it was a special. I've been telling people all of this. People thought like they thought I was crazy when I dropped the lineup. I'm like, all right,
Let him cook.
Billy, Zach, Rocky, Cat. They said, "You smoking dick? Like, what is this? Like, what about Amy Jo Johnson? They would never bring Cat back over her. What about Austin St. John? Rocky wasn't even at it. It doesn't like they just it's Power Ranger fans, right? At the end of the day, they will always question something,
Mm-hmm.
and whether you're right or not, it's like okay, true, Jen, you're right about that, but what about this, right? And this is what it is. I'm the one who leaked that the story will be about Trini dying and her daughter taking over the mantle, right? That's just but things like that will always be looked over with the bullshit I post, right? Like I've made so many jokes about like um oh my god, what was a funny one that made so many YouTube videos? I made a joke about how I don't know if you're into Sentai, right? Or if you're aware
No,
of what's
dog,
going
I
on
am
over
not with the
there.
Toku shit, man. You know me. I
So
got beef with them.
yeah, man. So there's some Super Mega Force.
Yeah, yeah,
You're
yeah.
aware of that at
I am
least?
aware of that.
Okay. There's a Sentai of it called Gokaiger, right? And during the recent Sentai seasons, they made a new Ranger, a gold one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I've made a joke that, Troy is coming back as the gold Super Mega Force Ranger with the edit that I made just for the fucking fun of it, bro. And then people took that and ran with it. Like it's just a lot of dumb shit I be doing.
Well,
But
you got to
I
stop
always
that,
make sure
man.
I clarify a couple of days later, like, bro, this is not serious. Don't take it serious. But yeah, now that I'm like actually like deep in it now, like I would say I'm a scooper for sure. And I've definitely made like a lot of friends who give me information on actual things that's come like legit. And I know now to take things more serious, but it was just like I just look. I played into the villain role. I accept it. I think I have to keep hitting for the next 4 years for people to really take me serious. It is what it is. But it was all fun though. I'm never butthurt about it. I see people all the time, and there's a lot of people too who don't even know me. Like I'm really like big on Twitter.
Oh, well, now you
So
about to be big on YouTube, bro. We about to
yeah, like
blow this
even
shit up.
even now, I still get the who's Jinsakuu. Like, like, listen, I don't know. I don't think I've done too much damage, but I think I'm starting to come around for a lot of people,
All
and
right.
it is what it is. I
Well,
guess new beginning.
look, man. Thank you for hopping on and giving me 36 minutes of your time, bro.
For
Uh,
sure,
I
man.
asked,
Nice talking.
everyone all the questions that they had, and we got
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
You got to do it more. You got to snipe me more often, man.
I will say though, I know you know what I'm talking about too, because I've watched you playing to the villain role yourself. I've seen on your bullshit on the timeline too. I know you the feeling exactly. So when I say this, I know you know what I mean. Sometimes, it's fun.
Of
It is
course,
fun.
it is fucking. It's
It's
the best
fun,
feeling in the
man.
world
But you
when
gotta
you.
understand, I this one thing I learned. People are completely different. Like, then like I understand people are different from me. People's humor is different. I can do bullshit and think it's funny, and I know a lot of other people around me also think it's funny. But you do have those serious motherfuckers though who will remember that to the day they
Oh,
die,
oh,
and they will hold you to that forever. And those will be the same trolls constantly, like in your comment section, the same ones constantly on other people YouTube videos, like, "Oh fuck Jinsaku, he's unreliable," or like whatever, whatever. It's like okay, like I can name all the stuff I got right, right? But if you really want to go like, yo, band for band on this, like, now how many things I got wrong, right?
ooh,
And then a
talk your
lot of
shit,
people go,
King.
well, and then people go like, if you put it that way, and it's like, well, see, it's one thing to not like me because I get it, my personality don't match well with others. I can be looked at as a villain or an asshole. It's cool. It's one thing to not like someone, but to like question their reliability or anything like that is like it's more of a different story. A lot of people get those two confused. Like I can say 100% I know I got stuff wrong before, and I've also admitted, and I will gladly take that reboot as my biggest L. It never came out, and I've been probably the biggest like cheerleader for the longest, right? And like I will gladly take that. Like I'm not someone who's like, oh, I'm never wrong, like whatever, whatever. But that's not gonna stop me though from doing what I'm doing, right? If I
Hey,
get information, I know people want to hear it, so I'm gonna say it, right? And even if this reboot turns out
don't
to
say
be
it.
another
Don't say
disaster
it.
mess, like I don't want to jinx it, right? But if it turns out to be another, tales of fucking Hasbro fumbling the bag again, then it's like, hey, I will take that too. I will own the L. It is what it is.
All right.
But it is what it is. That's just how I take it. But I am supposed to be on my boy Monty's stream,
Oh,
so
go ahead, man.
I
Make the rounds,
definitely
man.
well. Oh yeah, yeah. It was nice talking to you. I'm gonna head over to there and I'm gonna chop it up with my boy for sure. Everyone, nice talking to y'all. Whether you know me or you don't, nice to meet you. I'm Jinsakuu, all right?
All right. Thank you, man. All right. Let
For
me get
sure.
him out of here. That was Jinsakuu. Oh, my goodness. I'm telling you, who has the best goddamn Power Ranger content in the goddamn world? If it ain't me, I don't know who. If it ain't me, I don't know who. Do me a favor, like this video and go subscribe to my man, Jinsakuu. You can catch him on Twitter at Jin. Saku here, let me zoom in on it for y'all ninjas who blind. But yeah, man, we just got an impromptu Jinsakuu interview. If you don't know who he is the one of two people who broke down the new Power Ranger movie. And that is an exclusive interview. I'm saying it's an exclusive because, you know, I'm gonna put my shit out before Monty put his out. You best believe that. So like and subscribe.